What is up, and welcome back, foodies, to another episode of the quarantine edition where I am just stuck in my house trying to think of ideas to give to you guys. But this one is very special to my heart because this has been passed down from generation to generation. This is my grandma's Linguica bread. Also, if you want this recipe, go on to Rockpaperfood.com, and it has the entire, just directions, everything you need to make this, just in case you don't want to watch this video. But I mean, you're already watching this, so you should just keep watching this. So my grandma would make this for literally Thanksgiving, Christmas, any kind of special occasion. Obviously, the fat kid that I am, I would sneak in a lot more in my pockets and then go home and snack on them later. And then when she taught me how to actually make these, I mean, it's extremely simple. But when, as a kid, you feel like it's so complex. But now that I know how to make these, it's very simple. So even if you've never cooked anything, like you literally just barely make cereal, or if you're like someone like Gordon Ramsay, this is going to be something that's just very easy for you to make. So let's just dive right in. So you literally only need 3 ingredients to literally make this. It is so simple. Again, I believe this, was from my great grandma. She passed this down to my grandma and then passed it down to her favorite grandchild, me. So the 3 things you're going to need is ready dough. You can find this in your frozen section at literally any store. Linguica. If you don't know what this is, it's basically just sausage. Silva is the brand that we usually get. You can find this again pretty much anywhere that you shop at. But I mean, if you just want to try any other kind of linguica, I think they also make spicy one. So if you want to get a little crazy, and then you're just gonna need flour. First thing that you're going to want to do, everyone's been practicing this with good hygiene. First, you want to wash your hands, but you're also going to want a clean space. So clean it all down because we're going to throw some flour on here with the bread. We're going to, cut up the linguica. Before we get into the linguica though, this ready dough, you're going to want to make sure you like defrost it. It's going to need to be a little squishy. If it's frozen, this is obviously not going to work. So now we're going to have to basically pull off the skin to chop up the linguica. Now let's get into it. Alright, so the first thing you want to do is take off the skin, like I said. You can start off at either end, it doesn't really matter. But you're going to have to just cut off that first part. And there's going to be this little casing somewhere in there. You don't want to... Again, this is why you want to have clean hands. So, if you're going to see, this is the casing. You do not want this on your linguica. So make sure you just pull it all off. Get as much as you can off. And then we're going to chop it up. But as you can see, we got all that casing off. It's all right here. So we do not want this, and you do not want the end piece. Oh, yeah, let's just cut off the end piece too. Because usually that also contains casing, because these are connected. Alright, now that we pulled all the casings off, now we're going to want to cut these up into just little nice, I don't even know, a couple centimeters deep. You're going to want to cut a lot of these because what we're going to actually do is stuff this inside the bread. So just make sure you cut up the entire linguica. And because we're in Hollywood, baby, let's cut. And that's movie magic, just like that. The production team over here is amazing. So we got one linguica. Again, you don't want to cut them up too wide because, again, these are going to go inside the bread. If you do too much, then you're only going to get like 1 or 2 at most inside the bread. I'm going to try to get like 3 or 4 each. So let's just put these in our bowl, and we're going to save these, and then now let's get the bread going. So usually this bread is pretty easy to find. Obviously, everyone being, just inside, quarantine themselves, this bread is actually pretty hard to find now. So I think I went to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different stores to find this, which is just crazy. But at the end of the day, this linguica bread and my grandma, they're well worth it. So again, it has all the instructions on the back. So the first thing you're going to need to do is just thaw this out. Also, you can go on Rockpaperfood.com. I am just going to keep plugging this throughout the video because it has all the direction. We're going to turn the oven on to 375. And now let's just get to the bread portion. Let's keep going. Alright, so my production team is on point today. Thought I'd put some flour down. Again, make sure you just clean everything before you do that. Now we're going to get in the bread. This is, you know, it's still a little bit hard, but it's good enough. We're going to try to break these up into about, you know, anywhere from 6 to 8 pieces. And then we're going to stuff the linguiça in here. And then after that, I forgot to mention, but we're going to have these rise. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Brad. Brad is amazing over here. So we already broke up a couple of these for me, which is awesome. So you're going to want these around this size, which I guess is slightly bigger than a golf ball size. And then you're just going to kind of roll these around the flour. You're going to want to kind of start kneading them. You want to be nice. You don't want to be too aggressive with these because then they're going to start, you know, ripping up. They're going to break some holes. You don't want that. Be nice to this dough. So now that I kind of flattened them out, rolled them in flour, you're going to want to make these kind of like frisbees, little baby frisbees. Again, the smaller the size, the less linguiça we're going to get in them. So the bigger ones, we might be able to fit around maybe 3 to 4. This one right here, I don't even know what this is. Looks like a 2-year-old did this. My grandma will not be proud of this because this makes her smile. This, absolutely not. So with that, now that we kind of got our frisbee going, we're gonna make a nice. We're gonna stretch it out as much as you can. You don't want to stretch it out too much because then you're gonna get rips and everything. You're gonna take 1 linguiça, 2 linguiça, 3 linguiça. You know, I'm gonna fit 4 just because I can. And you're gonna close it up. You're gonna make sure all the nooks and crannies are taken care of. Again, you're just gonna make it like a little ball. You can roll it in flour, and then we're gonna put these. I usually put them face down. So this is what I mean face down. This is the bad side with all the nooks and crannies. You're going to put that face down so it's on top. And now we're going to do that for every single one. So again, this one is a little bit smaller, so I'm probably only going to be able to fit 3. You don't want to overstuff this because what's going to happen in the oven is the bread itself is just going to fall apart and the linguiça is going to pop right out, and you don't want that unless you want just half linguiça, half bread. So I'm going to do these for all of them. Overall, if you do 6 to 7, you should get, like 21 each. And that should be enough for the 2 linguiças that we have. So you're going to want to lay them out with a little bit of room. Just like us humans, these also need some 6 feet distance between each other because what's going to happen is these are going to grow. And you don't really want just one huge lump of bread. These are just individual little snacks. So yeah, just make sure you have all that. And I'm going to sprinkle more flour as I go because you don't want these sticking either. Also from the bottom could actually just burn, which you do not want. So I'm probably going to lay more flour and then stick them all around. Now this coming over here, again with my little frisbees. Now, my grandma means the world to me. So I don't just, don't show her this video or this part, let's skip right through this. But something that I like to do, my friends really love, is you add a little bit of cheese. So I took my Kirkland's Finest cheddar, and we're just gonna add our 3 pieces of linguiça. Let's hit it up with a little bit more cheddar in there. So now this one is just, once you bite into this, it's just gonna have a gooey, just cheese dripping off. You have linguiça, it's just gonna be an amazing snack. Also what you can do is put some butter on top if you want. It seems to actually, work well with the bread. So however you want to mix this up, it's on you. Again, my grandma's recipe, just so she doesn't kill me, is just strictly linguiça and the bread. Laid out all my linguiça bread, put some pan down, put some flour down. I made sure that all the bread had flour on, just all around because you don't want it to stick, you don't want it to burn, do all that. So now, while the oven is preheating to 375, I am just going to give them a nice little isolation. They need to be isolated for about 20 minutes. Just keep them. What that's going to do is the bread is actually going to rise. They're going to get a little bit bigger than what you see here. And then we're just going to throw them in the oven, obviously with the towel off. Put these in, again at 375. Just let them quarantine. Look at that, fresh out of the oven. You're gonna want a little brown. Again, it should be in there for like 25 to 30 minutes. You're gonna wanna see this nicely brown. It's a little bit white, just put it in a little bit longer. You don't want it too doughy. Now, these things are piping hot. So just let them, sit out for a little bit before you bite into it, or you're just gonna burn your tongue and your mouth and everything else. You don't want that right now. Now, I just eat these plain. My dad's a little weird and he's old, So he actually dips this in mustard. It's a little strange, but if you actually think about it, it kind of is like a hot dog. It does have sausage inside, and it is bread. So let's just dive right into this. Look at that. Oh my god. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. So, you get the bread, which is nice and fluffy. You get the linguica, which is just to die for. And again, obviously the linguica gets cooked in there. Oh my god, I know, right? This just brings back, when I was sitting on my grandma's, couch, playing, my Nintendo Game Boy, eating these, stuff in my pockets, eating them later. These are amazing. Again, these are super easy to do. And it's my grandma's recipe, so shout out to her. She has bad choices in sports teams like the Warriors and the Niners, but we won't go there. At least, she knows how to cook. Again, if you want the recipe, go on rockpaperfood.com. It has everything laid out. Watch this video a couple times. You'll learn how to cook it. Also follow me on IG at Rockpaperfood. And I am just going to enjoy this. You gotta make this, you see, it's nice that you gotta make this with soup, maybe with a salad. This is like little finger food. Oh my god. I am. Love you now.